Robert has been paneled twice and has over 50 referrals. Robert has big dreams about the future of the world. Chris was in anger management classes. Chris is going to change our community for the better. Cecilia was paneled to the Give Center in August. Cecilia is going to dedicate her life to community service. These three people are all in Give classrooms. Robert and Cecilia are my students, and Chris is my co-teacher. Both Chris and I broke a lot of rules in school. I got kicked out of pretty much every single classroom at Mill Creek High School. But now, that rebellious spirit informs our teaching. Chris and I try to teach our students to question everything, fight for what is right, and never let anyone tell you that is the way that it's always been done. Give West is not unique. At our schools, there are kids that challenge and question. As educators, our role is to channel that towards a common good. History shows us that those students that break rules are in good company. It was a group of rule breakers who threw tea into the Boston Harbor. It was rule breakers who stood up to the British during the Boston Massacre. And it was rule breakers, including Butt and Gwinnett, who declared our independence from England. Susan B. Anthony was arrested while trying to vote. Harriet Tubman defied the Fugitive Slave Act, and it was the Wright brothers who didn't listen to anyone who said that only birds could fly. We remember Rosa Parks' mugshot. We study Martin Luther King's letter from a Birmingham prison, and it was John Lewis who was arrested while marching in Alabama. All of these men and women share something in common with Robert and Cecilia: courage. The courage to innovate, the courage to fight the powerful, and the courage to not give up. Innovators challenge all facets of society. They are artists, musicians, innovators, and leaders. Kanye West said in his song, "Touch the Sky," "I'm just trying to right my wrongs, but it's funny, them same wrongs helped me write this song." We forget sometimes that society calls innovators and leaders wrong until it calls them right. That it's no crystal stair for leaders and innovators. It's marked with 1,000 people who say it can't be done, 1,000 people who say no. Chris, Paul, and I teach the fundamentals of critical thinking to prepare our students to find the right rules to break and how to successfully challenge those rules that prevent progress. It is hard sometimes to stand up for what you know is right. It can be lonely. Ralph Ellison described, "I am an invisible man." When you are invisible, you are constantly being bumped against by those with poor vision. It is when you feel like that, out of resentment, you begin to bump back. You ache with the need to convince yourself that you are part of this world, that you are part of the sound and anguish. And you strike out with your fists, and you curse, and you swear to make them try to recognize you, but alas, it is seldom successful. We can make the invisible student visible by not just seeing them for what they are, but for what they are going to be, which is a positive change in our community and our nation. The promise of Gwinnett is the promise of America, that no matter who you are, you can become whatever you want to be. Public education is the bridge between being born and landing your dream job. Without public education, America is not America. Without educators, we are unable to be a great nation of opportunity. It is our duty as teachers to guard the walls of this educational institution. Teachers are the defender of the American dream. We must believe in that American dream for our students that think differently. On the Statue of Liberty, it states, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." As educators, we must mirror this. Give me your students who you say cannot be taught. Give me your talkative, your rebellious, your students that yearn to be free. It is teachers who will save America. A teacher can save a kid from poverty. A teacher can defeat racism. A teacher can help get a kid to go to college. That is what I am fighting for. I want my students to sit in the student section of a college football game. I want them to be able to take a long weekend at work. I want Robert to join an a cappella group. And I want Cecilia to get annoying alumni association phone calls asking for money. That's my promise of Gwinnett, annoying alumni phone calls. And our students can do that, every one of them, the rule breakers and the rule followers alike. It is our charge as educators not to extinguish these fires of rebellion, but rather to teach the process of critical thinking and the depth of understanding. Those students that are furthest from their dreams have the dreams that are most worth fighting for. And those students who don't yet believe in themselves, we first must believe in. And yes, those students that challenge us will go on to challenge the world. Thank you.